Got to have 10,000 on TikTok before we can get them on the restream. And TikTok, it's always slow. I see it's breaking up right now. I don't know why, but it's going to catch up in just a minute. So I'm going to babble till then. I'm Linda K. Gifford. I am a CSA survivor. Most people know me as a musician, flautist. I'm Grammy nominated songwriter for Del Monte Band's It's Just the Night album of the year. I put out my own CD, A Bed for My Boots, and I've got 3 more coming. So, hi, just killing time, waiting for TikTok. There we go. TikTok just kicked in. I don't know why. But should we get to 10,000 subscribers, we can add you to the restream, which is this camera. Restream, TikTok, restream. All right. Welcome to Those Nasty Women Talk. I have lined up some co-hosts that I'm really fascinated to bring you, but I want to keep cutting my teeth a little bit longer here. And then so much has happened this week, I don't even know where to start. It's been like, outside of having my children, probably the craziest, best week of my life. We were given the rights to become a brand affiliate, so now anybody can sell the Sweet Shopping Group products. I've been online since 2017, right? I opened my first store at the mall in Springfield, Illinois, and online simultaneously with the help of my son, John Gifford Irwin, who is taking over Feel Good Fair Trade. If you notice Feel Good Fair Trade disappeared, it's because John, who built it his freshman year of college, is taking it over and has a company of his own that's coming out that I'm really excited about, but no details yet. That being said, I think we are safe to proceed like it's the top here, like where we're going to start when we actually post shit. So that being said, I need a drink. And yes, it's vodka. Well, no, I mean, it's a little vodka and lemon juice and club soda. But I got to tell you, I need it. I need it. You know why I do this? I actually wear like light pink, but this helps the lip readers to read. And I used to teach broadcast performance actually in college as a practicum class. And one of the things we taught people was to open their mouths wide. And my son says it looks really weird, but nonetheless, it helps the mouth readers to read. And it made my music teacher not throw a trash can at me because you'd practice and you think you've got it down right, and you get to the end and you're like, how'd I do? And then she throws a trash can at you and says, do it again. God bless Marilee Shoup. I love her to pieces. Anyway, so here we go. Today, I want to say that every day I turn on the news or I read the news, generally first thing in the morning by 7 o'clock or so, I'm reading the news, and like that and the breaking news that comes across my feed, I want to laugh. It's like, this is so absurd. And then I'm like, oh my God, reality check. This is real. This is actually happening. The MTGs and the Lauren Boeberts and the Mike Johnsons and the war in Ukraine being held up by one individual and the partisan politics and the women's rights legally disappearing. This is real. So what are we going to do about it? You going to do anything about it? Because it seems like you're not. It seems like I'm in this alone. You know, on the CSA workshops, I'm a neurolinguistic practitioner, and I work with you in a whole different level, and I'm pushing you to succeed and teaching you how to overcome your triggers and what they are and all of that. So please review that. But that's not what Those Nasty Women is. And I'm going to be bringing on people from Joyce M. Short, who is the founder of the Consent Awareness Network, to Masjid Kosh, who is on, I don't even know where to start. Look him up. very fascinating people who are forward thinking in this world. And I just don't know where to go with it anymore. I have to change things, right? And it's so easy to tell people how to overcome CPTSD triggers because I'm a childhood sexual assault survivor. That's what I do and did. And now it's like I'm confronted with a world of things that I can't just fix myself. So I am reaching out to you. I founded Sweet Survivor. I did 20 years of therapy myself, various drugs. Oh my God, in the beginning, Neurontin, Paxil, Zoloft, Lyrica, Effexor. I took about one of each of these pills and my mind was blown. I was like, no, this does not work, you know? And for CPTSD, it's similar, it presents similarly to PTSD, but there's a difference. I've got my sonic screwdriver. I'm trying to fix the world while we talk. Oh, you know what? I should up the ante with my Harry Potter wand that Willie made me. It is custom made just for me. What are we going to do? We have to start where we can. That's why I don't get on and preach anymore like I used to. I used to just live stream about politics and everyday news. And I've come to the point over 5 years in to this live streaming stuff that's like, the people who are going to listen to this side are going to listen to this side, and people who are going to listen to that side are going to listen to that side. And the fact that there shouldn't be sides doesn't seem to be something I can get across alone. So I founded Sweet Survivor, and it's been evolving. I didn't even know what I was going to do with it. I'm just like, I know I need to do something in this world. So I founded Sweet Survivor to do something in this world. And we now link to RAIN to help. You know, first thing you do if you go to our site, sweetsurvivor.com, is, are you in need now? Go to RAIN. And there's the link right there and the phone number. And then, do you have suspicions? Report to Thorn. That's there. And then Consent Awareness Network link is there to show you, please go read Joyce M. Short's work and of the need for legislation to codify consent. Sweet Survivor now has the Sweet Action Teams, which are, all it is I want you to report. Just promise me and yourself and your family and your friends that you will report suspicious activity to Thorn. So we need to get the word out. Please help me. Thorn was founded by Ashton Kutcher and his then wife, Demi Moore. He still runs it, considers it his job, acting as a sideline. Thorn and rescuing sex trafficking victims and busting the traffickers, more importantly, is his main job. So please, people are scared to report to Thorn or they don't know anything about it. There needs to be, we need to spread the message that if you are suspicious that somebody is being sexually assaulted or trafficked or in any way disparaged against, you can report to Thorn, who have busted over 2,000 sex traffickers with cyber work that connects local and regional and federal and international law enforcement and militaries, and they work together. At least when it comes to sex trafficking, I feel like I can make a difference back to the top. That's why I've niched out into what I know best. I know what it's like to be a childhood sexual assault survivor. And while I was not sex trafficked, I was forced into being shared with other grown men as a child. And I consider that same thing, hometown trafficking. For whatever the end is, my shame rode with me for so long, and I have to be done with it. I have to be. Last week, still clinging to the sonic screwdriver and the wand in the hopes that some good is coming of this. Also, we love everybody here. I have like a little toolkit I kind of accidentally built up. Also, my butterfly wand. I love this. This is my new toy. I was just training with my AR as an aside, not mine, an AR that I have access to. And I am very careful and trained. I don't play with guns, I train. And I've been shooting my whole life. Took a hiatus while I was raising kids and didn't do it much after my dad passed away because he was the one we would shoot with. But I feel it's important. And I have already, before I was officially considering myself doing this, I did this. I was playing a show in this little country town, Salisbury, outside of Springfield, Illinois, when a woman whose wedding in the same town in their backyard I had played at the party for, after we left, she was stabbed at her own wedding. She was terribly abused by her husband, and at our gig had hair like ripped out of her head and bruises, and asked me to help her kill herself. I'm like, well, I won't do that, but I'll come get you tomorrow. And I did, but she wouldn't come. In fact, she told her, turns out, crack dealing new husband, that she used me as a weapon. She said, she's going to come help me if you do anything again. Well, long story short, she's dead. She didn't come. I need a moment. But immediately afterwards, a box of kittens. All the kittens disappeared out of the box on my screened door closed side porch of my country house. And a few days later, my lab disappeared, who I had rescued in respect to health. And then my bunny disappeared out of the lock cage. And then they came for me. And I didn't know this at the time till the police got there. It's 4:30 in the morning. Someone's knocking on my door. It's dark. I don't understand why. I've got an infant and a toddler in a farmhouse in the country with a door with pane glass you could like poke a hole through, right? And a shotgun and shells strategically placed nowhere a child could get them. And I hadn't even trained on it, which is when I started training again. Whenever I could after that, which is not very often until recently. They were breaking in my door. They were on the porch. There was no light. Turns out they had unscrewed the light outside and thrown it out into the circle drive. 3 of them, muscle shirts, camo boots, skinhead types, coming for me with a personal vengeance. And so where I'm going with this is, you know that I am liberal as the day is long, and I accept all gender identities. It's your business, and I welcome and celebrate you. But you can't have my guns. I won't use them to harm anybody unless they're going to harm me. But you can't have and take guns away. And if you think that that is the right move, every time someone gets blown apart in this world by someone with a gun, remember, people like me who grew up with a gun cabinet in the living room, who had a father who taught me how to use a gun at such a young age that by the time I was, I'd say 10 or 11, when they were in town, we lived 9 miles in the country, a coyote was threatening my epileptic German Shepherd. And so I shot at, not the coyote, but next to it and scared him off because my dad taught me how to use a gun. And what's wrong is these people that are misusing guns. I'm trying to give you a lesson here because you're going to lose the election. You guys are going to lose the election for us if you take the swing vote, because most of us, and the moderate and the swing vote especially, if they have to choose between abortion rights, most of them of whom are not even of childbearing age anymore, and many of whom, even liberals, have Christian values that say, well, I don't really think abortion is that big of a deal, right? They will They will swing Republican. They will swing Trump and GOP if you try to take away their right to carry guns or the types of guns they can shoot. And I'm here to tell you, as a person who shoots lots of types of guns, it doesn't matter. Limiting this or limiting that is not going to stop anyone who wants to do something bad with them from doing them. And I want to counter that with nobody that I know in my entire lifetime of gun owning friends, family, and usage. Has anyone ever been hurt? Has anyone ever used it inappropriately? Has anyone robbed a bank or shot someone? They are protection. And here's where society's gone wrong with guns. And this is where the liberals have gone wrong and are going to lose the goddamn election for us. Did I mention that? Because it's important. I can't take a country where we keep heading down the road towards lack of bodily autonomy, lack of women and others' rights, lack of religious freedoms, martial law, changing everything, a Supreme Court that is completely loaded. Do you know what's going on right now? What can change it before it gets to civil war is words and votes and focus. So you need to focus. All of us need to focus on what's going to win this election for Biden. Even if we think he's a little too old, he's not Trump. Okay? If that's all it takes, make a big button. Biden. He's not Trump. That's all you should need. But I'm telling you, lighten up on trying to take guns away from everybody, because it's not going to change a damn thing. If I thought it would change a damn thing, I would be on your side. But this is the time we are in. Laying down your guns and taking away everybody's legal guns means the only people that are going to have them are the bad guys. Are you hearing me? This is my father taught me this as a little child, and I could not have grown up in a more progressive household. But that is exactly the playbook in history, should you choose to read it. They will get you to give up your guns, and then your rights go, and then what are you going to do? What you going to do when they come for you, as they say? Well, I don't think that's going to get to that. And I think the way it doesn't get to that is we all get real. We have so many guns in this country, and so few of them are used for ill purpose. And almost none of them by somebody who's right in the head. So, yeah, A, mental health, important for gun ownership. And B, fully trained, also important. You should have to go to classes if you own a gun. I believe you should know how to use it, train it. C, train with it. C, actually, this is a subcategory of B. When you are training, you need to remember this, and this is where we're going wrong too. The bad guys with the guns aren't trained usually. The kid with the gun, I'm in Kansas City, and I was finalizing footage to put the Kansas City Chiefs rise and rally behind my CD's song, Prairie Song, as the video for it, the first video for the CD I just released a few weeks ago. It's on all the streaming services. It's called A Bed for My Boots. But I was doing that, and I'm watching the rally, and everybody's happy here in Kansas City, and then shots fired. The people with those guns didn't have the right to have them, weren't properly trained with them. They go out there with guns as like a toy, like a game. I get that. So you want to take them away. I get that too. But you're wrong. You're reacting. You're overreacting and not doing the math. And the math is that a person like me who grew up in a household with guns respects a gun. And we know that we don't pull a gun if we're not seriously going to use it. A gun is not a threat. A gun is not a prop. Nobody should ever know you have it. You don't say, I'm carrying, I'm cool. You don't need to carry it outside. A gun is a lethal goddamn weapon. You are right. And that is why I want them, in case I need that. But I won't be letting a beep out about the fact that it's there unless when I pull it, you either run the other way or you're going down. And I see almost no situation that can happen in if we vote correctly. Don't force any of us into fighting for human rights and the future of this country. Realize that the important issue here is abortion, not guns. Get off of it or we're going to lose this election. Ein Moment bitte. Ich spreche Deutsch. Ich habe in Herman, Missouri, einen kleinen deutschen Volk gelebt. Jetzt ich bin ein Kind der. Etwas sprechen Deutsch. Yeah, guns do ruin kids' lives sometimes. And that's why we have to stop those people. We have to stop those people. Because the people who have the guns that are ruining kids' lives are not people who should legally have guns, or they are people whose parents have irresponsibly. I mean, the reason I'm talking about this today is obviously because of the final statements by the lawyers in the school shooter case, and who's responsible? Are the parents responsible? So let's talk about that. Yeah, in this case, I think these parents are responsible. There were so many red flags. I also know a person's got to make a living. This is what I'm talking about, responsible gun ownership. I don't think everybody with a gun is responsible with it. And it is exactly for that reason that I want to make sure I have the right to have one in case one of them comes after me or someone in my path. Does that not make sense to you? Does it not make sense to you? Yes, I'm not comparing guns to abortion. No, I'm saying that the issue right now, when it comes to the election, if we want to win it for liberals, if we don't want Trump to become an autocrat in office on day one, then we're going to need the swing and the moderate vote. And they care about abortion. They care about the right to bodily autonomy. They care about family planning rights, even on the Republican side, overwhelmingly. The only reason these abortion laws are even enacted, the Roe v. Wade overturn and all, are because of ridiculous election and legal loopholes and lifetime appointments for Supreme Court justices who can be bought and biased, as we know, Clarence. Okay, that was great luck, wasn't it? Okay, I'm heterochromatic. I have yellow circles. Kind of weird, huh? Add it to the list. So no, I'm not comparing guns to abortions. I'm saying focus on abortion rights when you are pushing your social media, when you're talking to your friends. Get off the backs of people with guns, because you're never going to win. You're not going to win this one because too many liberals and moderates, in fact, a lot of moderates and swing voters are that way because of gun laws. And a hell of a lot of liberals like me have guns. So get off the backs of gun laws. Yes, every problem you state is true. I am not denying it. My son has been shot at 6 times already on his first ride-along as a police officer in training. He was just a student his freshman year of college, and he's in a 4-year criminal justice program, and he's a Carnegie Medal of Valor nominee for driving his Mountaineer between a heart attack victim in a little sports car, who happened to be the funeral director of our small town, and his little dog was on the seat. He was slumped over the wheel, hanging out. My son saw a semi about to pass him in the right lane, and he was in the left lane, so he cut in and got between them. I'm saying good people. Good people. Cops are good people. People shoot at them. I am a good person. People came for me. I mean, in my opinion, I'm a good person. You can think whatever you want of me. I really don't care. I hope you do. It's irrelevant. Um, I have Asperger's, so I just don't really care what anybody thinks. I'm going to change the world. And I do care very much about every individual puppy, plant, and insect I meet. But on the whole, I don't give a goddamn about anybody's opinion. I've got a world to fix. I was sexually assaulted for 7 years of my childhood, groomed and assaulted in the most wonderful, educated, and kind of families. So I thought. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, like my sisters don't like me because of my Asperger's, which they don't even want to believe I have, which is ridiculous considering like one of their own kids has it and I got diagnosed medically and it's clear. Just like fighting these family things, it's just, it's maddening. And when you're fighting these family things, back to the top, remember that fighting your family about gun control, while every point you make may be valid, and I could also probably agree with you, it's not going to change things. It's going to push them away. But talking about human rights, talking about bodily autonomy and family planning rights, talking about IVF, let's talk about that. And by let's, I mean me. Embryos. If embryos are babies, how long do you think it's going to take if Trump gets in office before they decide that if you don't want to have all of your embryos, you do not have the right to kill them, but rather they will be given to surrogates who want children? And do you think any of those surrogates are going to be liberal? Seriously. Everything I say that someone says is crazy, the next freaking week or month or year comes true. And that's the God's truth. Look back over the last 10 years of essays. Those of us who study history, and I mean, I know hominid development, societal development at an intensely deep level. I have studied theology, every religion. I have Asperger's, so I like absorb information. And the more I put it all together, the more I just am terrified for where we're going, but also realizing that my father was right. And you're going to hate me for this. This is going to bring shit, but it's still the truth. My kind, wonderful, was a minister, but gave up the ministry after years of becoming, he had master's degrees in theology, ancient history, and psychology. And never a dull moment in our household. And I went to college. I went to preschool at the Mizzou Research Center. So, like, that's where and then I jumped into kindergarten at 4, and then a year when we moved. And it's just like, I've been absorbing knowledge my whole life, and that is what I do. And I'm really scared that he was right, that there is just an evolutionary difference. I don't want to believe that. I still want to cling to it's nurture, not nature. People can be educated. But I will end today with, if somewhere down the road, confronted with the choice between, and I'm answering straight up, yeah, I'm doubling down to you online, you know who you are. Not old friend, kind of, from my hometown who has gone into the dark side. I believe in democracy if it's not going to destroy human rights in the planet. If we can't get our shit together enough to be nice to each other and insist upon equal human rights and just decency all around and not destroying our actual habitat, if people are so fucking, pardon me for editing purposes, goddamn stupid that they would do that thing, if that becomes the majority, then I will be looking for other solutions along with all of the other intelligent people on this planet. You can be sure. What they are, there is no plan. But please don't make the smart people make plans. I'll talk to you tomorrow.